Okay, we're here to talk about standardizing organization names, which could be government entities, business names, and other types of nonprofit organizations, for example, not just in the US, but around the world. Of course, you get a lot of different permutations of organization names in data sets and databases, which can make it very difficult to perform any type of analytics, to do matching, to do any type of analysis, appending of third-party data, whatever the case may be. If you have a lot of inconsistent data that you're trying to work with, and that's what the Standardized Organization Name API from Interzoid addresses. One of the multiple ways to address it. And so if you go to APIs Get Org Standard under Products, you can see this page, get some examples. For example, when you call the API, an input of BOA would bring back Bank of America. So you're getting the official standard name when you call this. Here's the API endpoint and some of the other sample requests and what a response looks like in JSON, since it's a REST API, in curl as well. And then of course some different examples of types of data. JP Morgan, J.P. Morgan, these will all become JP Morgan Chase and Company. IBM Corp, and all this becomes International Business Machines Corporation. Even Motores Generales becomes General Motors, Gen Motors, GM, and so forth. You get the full official name of the organization. And there's some more examples here. You can see U of Washington University, so educational institutions, SF schools, many different ways to show that type of data. And of course, there's multiple use cases: data cleansing, deduplication, analytics and reporting, data integration. And so one of the things that we can do, we can write code to try this out and integrate it into your application. But we also have an interactive version or tool, I should say, that enables you to call all of our APIs from an interactive UI, so you can better understand the behavior of an API before you try to integrate it or anything like that. And so I have it up here. You can see all the different APIs that are here. Org name standardization is what we're working with now. And that's all I have to do. I do need to get an API key. That's how we track usage at Interzoid. You can sign up. You can actually, if you go to try.interzoid.com, you can go to this menu item and get an API key, or of course you can go to our main website and just register, provide your email address and some additional information, and you can get your API key. And that's pretty much it. There's only one input parameter here, org, and I'm going to call the API, standardized organization name, and it's going to call the API, and you can see it standardizes it to Bank of America. And I want to point out too, it also gives you the API call that was used by this application to get the data back. Of course, I can show it in JSON or just regular text if that makes it easier to read. And so here's your REST API call that you can just integrate again into any kind of code, any application where you might want to standardize this data. You can see some other examples here, like if I do U of Wash, standardize that, I get the University of Washington, and then you can see here the actual API call that was used. In this case, it's embedding some plus symbols, but you don't have to do that. But that's pretty much how this works. It won't be one thing to be careful of. It's not going to be 100% accurate. It's just doing a closest match algorithm. And so there might be some cases where, especially with acronyms, CCC, for example, could bring up a lot of different companies. And so just something to be, cautious of. But in general, it'll standardize data and give you a standard version of the organization name. There's nothing worse than getting 9 different versions of IBM in your database, making it very hard to analyze and work with that data. And so being able to standardize it, show business machines. And so you get the same, information to work from. Is just going to make things dramatically easier. You'll have cleaner data and more standardized data. And these are all one at a time. We also have the ability to do it. If you go here to process data sets in batch mode, you could take an entire CSV file, text file of names, and standardize them all at once on our high performance platform. So all the entire file is downloaded, so it's much faster as well for high volume standardizations. And again, you always want to review the data, to make sure that things were standardized correctly. There's always a few percentage of points where the potential answer was ambiguous. But that's pretty much it. Interzoid.com. If you have any questions, contact us at support@interzoid.com. Sign up for a trial today to kick the tires, and hopefully you'll visit us at interzoid.com. Thank you, and happy data normalization.